There's a power, a force, something you can't quite touch, but you can feel it. When a billion people around the world from every continent, every background, every walk of life rise together, bow together, speak together, at the same time in the same way, that's not a coincidence. That's not just tradition. That's divine unity at work. You see, when Muslims pray, they're not just individuals standing before God, they are one body, a single heartbeat, a single movement. Imagine for a second, a man in a skyscraper in New York, a woman in the desert sands of Sudan, a child on a mountaintop in Pakistan, a farmer in the rice fields of Indonesia, all bowing, all whispering the same words, all facing the same direction. That is what unity looks like. That is what purpose sounds like. It's easy to think that the world is too big to bring together, that people are too different, too divided, too lost in their own lives to ever move as one. But Islamic prayer, salah, shatters that idea every single day, 5 times a day. No matter where you are, when that call to prayer echoes, it's a reminder. You are not alone. Your struggle is not unseen. Your purpose is shared, and your Lord, your Creator, is one. And just like that, the noise of the world falls away. The hate, the ego, the distractions, they all get left at the door when a Muslim lines up for prayer. No titles, no wealth, no politics. Just the soul and its Creator stripped of everything false. Now I want you to think about something deeper. Why the same way? Why the same word? Because truth doesn't need to be reinvented. The truth is timeless. The truth doesn't change because we change. The truth stands firm like a lighthouse in the storm. And so Muslims pray the way Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prayed. The same way, the same words, passed down with care. Guarded not just by scholars, but by mothers, by fathers, by children memorizing each line with love. That's not just ritual, that's preservation. That's the human heart holding on to a rope that leads straight to heaven. And let's not forget the wisdom in the discipline. Praying the same way builds something the world desperately needs. Unity without uniformity. It's not about everyone thinking the same, being the same, living the same. It's about everyone turning toward the same light, even when they walk different roads. It's about knowing that no matter how broken this world may seem, there is still a path. A straight path that a billion souls tread together. It's about stepping out of your little bubble, your little struggles, and realizing you are part of something infinitely greater. You are part of a family that stretches across nations and generations, across languages and colors, across all the fake walls men have built. This, my friends, is not just about religion. This is about a truth written deep into the design of life itself. That we were never meant to walk alone. That the highest honor isn't to stand taller than your brother, but to stand beside him, shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot, heart to heart. 1 billion voices, 1 billion prayers, one direction, one divine love, pulling them all together like a tide that never breaks. And when you understand that, really understand it, it changes the way you see everything. You stop asking, why are we so different? And you start asking, how can I stand with my fellow human being? How can I move with him, pray with him, live with him? That's a lesson the whole world could use right now. That's a lesson that could heal nations. And it's a lesson that's been hidden in plain sight, 5 times a day, every single day, for over 1,400 years. And that's not just beautiful, that's divine. You know, in this world, it's easy to get caught up thinking you're something big. It's easy to walk around like you own the ground under your feet, flashing your success, flashing your fame, flashing your pride. But when a Muslim stands in prayer, something extraordinary happens. They are taught to let all of that go, to drop it, to bow down, to place their forehead, the highest part of the human body, on the ground, the lowest place you can go. That's not a mistake. That's not a ritual just for ritual's sake. That's a message. That's humility being built deep into the bones of a human being. Because when your forehead touches that earth, you're declaring something powerful to the universe. That no matter how high you rise, no matter how much you own, no matter how loud your name echoes in this world before God, you are nothing but His servant. And that's the truth every soul needs to remember. Pride is what destroys nations. Pride is what breaks families. Pride is what makes a man forget his beginning and his end. And prayer, real prayer, smashes that pride to pieces. 5 times a day, Muslims are called back to reality, called back to the earth, called back to the truth that everything they have is a blessing, that every breath is a gift, that every heartbeat is on loan. It doesn't matter if you're a king or a janitor, a CEO or a refugee. When you line up for prayer, your forehead touches the same dirt, your knees bend the same way, and your voice trembles before the same Lord. There are no VIP sections in prayer, no front rows for the famous, no titles carved into the prayer mats, just soul meeting Creator, naked of all illusion. There's a kind of power in that, a kind of beauty this world is starving for. The beauty of knowing who you are by knowing who you are not. You are not God, you are not self-made, you are not entitled. You are not better than the brother next to you or the sister behind you. And the moment you bow, you're saying it loud and clear. I am yours, my Lord. I came from dust, and to dust I will return. That's a truth deeper than any philosophy. That's a wisdom older than any book written by human hands. And it's alive, real, pulsing through the body of 1 billion believers every single day. And listen, the world might call that weakness. The world might call humility a flaw. It might tell you to stand tall, puff your chest, climb over others to get ahead. But you gotta ask yourself, where has that gotten us? Look around. Broken homes, empty hearts, lonely souls wearing crowns of gold but crying behind closed doors. Maybe, just maybe, the real strength isn't in standing taller than others. Maybe the real strength is knowing when to kneel, when to surrender, when to whisper from the depths of your heart, guide me because I can't guide myself. Forgive me because I fall short. Bless me, because without you I have nothing. Every time a Muslim bows, it's a reset. It's a return to true freedom, the freedom that comes from letting go of the illusion of control. It's a moment of being small in the presence of the one who is infinitely great, and somehow, in becoming small, you find your true greatness. You find peace. You find your real place in this vast, beautiful, overwhelming universe. You find that you are not lost. You are exactly where you need to be. Humbly, gratefully, at the feet of the one who never loses track of you. And that kind of humility, that kind of heart, is the kind that can change not just a man, not just a people, but the whole world. Discipline. That word alone can scare people. It sounds heavy. It sounds hard. It sounds like chains. But the truth is, without discipline, life falls apart. Dreams fall apart. Souls fall apart. And when you look at the way a Muslim prays, 5 times a day, every day, no excuses, you start to see a different kind of power. You start to see a life that's built, not just drifted into. A life that's carved out of intention, not chaos. See, the Islamic prayer isn't just a random act of worship you do when you feel like it. It's fixed, it's timed, it's structured. Before sunrise, midday, afternoon, sunset, night. Like the beat of a drum that keeps the music of your life in rhythm. It reminds you that no matter how busy you get, no matter how high the waves of life rise, you have an anchor. You have appointments with the Creator that you cannot afford to miss. Most people let the day control them. They wake up when they feel like it. They rush through life chasing deadlines, chasing money, chasing validation. They pray to the gods of their own schedules. But a Muslim's day is different. It's not built around their job. It's not built around their desires. It's built around their prayer. Prayer doesn't revolve around life. Life revolves around prayer. And when you live like that, something incredible happens. You become stronger than the chaos. You rise above the noise. You walk through storms, not because the storms stop, but because your feet know where they're planted. Your time belongs to something greater than the clock ticking on the wall. Your soul moves to the rhythm of heaven. You think about it. 5 times a day, dropping everything for just a few minutes to reconnect with purpose, to realign your soul, to breathe in peace and breathe out stress. That's not just religion. That's therapy. That's real self-care. That's what discipline looks like when it's fueled by love, not fear. And it teaches you something the world desperately needs, that freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want whenever you want. Freedom comes from doing what's right, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you're busy, even when no one's watching. And don't get it twisted. Prayer doesn't just teach discipline in prayer, it spills over into everything else. You learn to show up for your family. You learn to show up for your work. You learn to show up for your dreams. You learn to show up for your soul. Because the same muscle you build to stand before God at dawn is the same muscle you need to chase greatness in this life. The same strength that gets you on the prayer mat when it's cold, when you're tired, when you're stressed, is the strength that keeps you standing when life tries to knock you down. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence, about showing up again and again with a heart that says, I'm here, Lord. I'm trying. I'm weak, but I'm trying. And maybe that's the secret. Maybe discipline isn't about being harsh with yourself. Maybe it's about loving yourself enough to stick to the path even when it's hard. About believing that your soul is worth the effort, that your life is worth the structure, that your future is worth the fight. Because when you commit to prayer, you're not just carving minutes out of your day. You're carving a legacy. You're carving a destiny. You're building a soul that knows how to stand firm, how to walk steady, how to live with purpose when the rest of the world is just drifting. And a soul trained by prayer, that's a soul ready to conquer, not just this world, but the next. There's a kind of silence that isn't empty. It's full of meaning, full of presence, full of a connection so real, so pure, you can feel it vibrating in your chest. That's what true prayer brings. That's what a billion Muslims tap into when they bow their heads and whisper words that reach higher than the sky. Prayer isn't just movement. It's not just routine. It's a conversation with the creator of the heavens and the earth. It's a meeting between the soul and the one who shaped it out of nothing. In a world where everybody's looking for connection, on phones, on screens, in crowds, in noise, here comes prayer, offering something deeper. Offering a bridge, not to another distracted soul, but to the source of life itself. Every time a Muslim stands for prayer, they are being invited to slow down, to breathe, to listen, to step out of the madness of deadlines and desires, and step into a moment where only two exist, the servant and the Lord. In that moment, all the masks fall away. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to impress. You don't have to fear judgment from the world, because you are standing before the only one whose judgment truly matters. And in that space, something miraculous happens. The noise inside quiets, the heart softens, the mind clears. And you realize, maybe for the first time that day, that you are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you were meant to be. Mindfulness today has become a buzzword. People talk about being present, about breathing deeply, about living in the now. But Islam taught that long before it became trendy. Prayer demands your presence. It demands that you put down the baggage of yesterday and the worries of tomorrow. It demands that you be here, right now, with God, with yourself, facing the only direction that matters, facing the one who knows every tear you've cried and every hope you've hidden deep inside your chest. And when you say, Allahu Akbar, God is greater, you are not just making a statement. You are making a choice. You are choosing to leave your fears at His feet. You are choosing to leave your ambitions in His hands. You are choosing to trust that no matter how wild this world gets, He is greater. And it doesn't stop when the prayer ends. That mindfulness, that connection, that presence, it walks with you back into your life. It teaches you to look at your family with softer eyes, to handle your work with cleaner hands, to walk through this earth with a heart that's not asleep but wide awake. Prayer is not an escape. It's not checking out of life. It's checking into life at a deeper level. It's waking up to the truth that everything you do, every word you say, every breath you take, can be sacred if your heart is connected. You don't pray because God needs it. You pray because you need it. You need that reminder that you are more than your job, more than your pain, more than your fears. You are a soul created for greatness, created for worship, created for love, and prayer polishes that soul. It keeps it alive in a world that tries so hard to kill it. Every bow, every prostration, every whispered word is a spark lighting up the darkness inside. A billion sparks lighting up the world 5 times a day. That's not just ritual. That's revolution. That's hope. That's life. And a heart that's trained to connect to its creator is a heart that can never be truly broken, no matter how hard this world tries. One of the most beautiful things about prayer, one of the most profound truths hidden in plain sight, is that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how much you own, what color your skin is, what language you speak, or what your past looks like. When you step onto that prayer mat, you are the same as every other soul standing next to you. We're all equal in the eyes of God. There is no hierarchy, no class, no title, no discrimination, no barriers. And that is a powerful lesson this world needs. A world that's divided by race, by status, by wealth. A world that judges you by your clothes, by your zip code, by your family name. But in prayer, you're not judged by any of that. You are judged only by your sincerity, by your heart, by your connection to the Creator. When Muslims pray, they line up shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot, in perfect rows. It doesn't matter if the person standing next to you is a billionaire or a beggar. It doesn't matter if they are from a different country, a different background, or a different culture. When you stand side by side, you are united in purpose, united in faith, united in your submission to the one who created you both. And in that unity, there is a profound truth that no human being is greater than another. That the true measure of a person isn't their bank account, their title, their fame, or their skin color. The true measure of a person is their character, their heart, and their humility before God. Imagine that. 1 billion people, every single day, being reminded of this truth, that the rich are not better than the poor, that the powerful are not better than the weak, that the famous are not better than the unknown. And when we understand that, when we really let that sink in, something beautiful happens. The walls come down, the judgments fade away. We stop looking at people and seeing their labels. We start seeing them as they are, human beings, created by the same God, struggling in the same ways, striving for the same peace. But it goes beyond that. It's not just about standing next to someone in prayer. It's about living in a way that reflects that equality. It's about treating every person you meet with the same dignity, the same respect, the same kindness. It's about seeing your worth not in what you have, but in who you are, in the way you treat others. And when you realize that, when you really understand that we are all equal before God, it changes the way you walk through the world. You stop walking over people to get to the top. You stop thinking you're better than anyone else. You start seeing the value in every person you meet, from the CEO to the homeless person on the street. And that shift in perspective doesn't just change you. It changes the world around you. Equality is not just a nice idea. It's not just something to talk about in speeches. It's something to live by every single day. It's something to teach your children, to practice with your spouse, to share with your friends, to carry with you in every interaction. Because when you live like that, when you live with the belief that every person is equal in the eyes of God, you become a force for good in this world. You become a light in the darkness. You become a reflection of the love and mercy of the Creator. And that, my friends, is the kind of equality that can heal this world. It's the kind of equality that breaks down the walls of hatred and division. It's the kind of equality that can bring peace to a broken world. You know, sometimes people think of religion as something that's just for one group of people, something that's just for one time, one place, one set of rules. But the truth is, the wisdom embedded in the act of prayer isn't just for the believers. It's for humanity. It's for all of us, no matter where we come from, no matter what we believe. The teachings of prayer, of submission, of humility, these are universal truths that can transform every human heart. Whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, or someone who doesn't identify with any faith at all, the lessons hidden in prayer speak to something much deeper than religious boundaries. They speak to the soul. They speak to the heart of what it means to be human. Look at it this way. Every time a Muslim goes down to the ground in prostration, there is a lesson being taught that goes beyond any one faith. In that moment of complete submission, you are reminded that no matter how much you think you control your life, no matter how much power or influence you may have, in the grand scheme of things, you are one small part of a much larger picture. You are not in charge of everything. You are not the center of the universe. But in surrendering to God, you find freedom, you find peace, you find wisdom that transcends anything this world can give you. Think about it. The world today is full of noise, full of distractions, full of people telling you what you should want, who you should be, what you should buy, what you should believe. But prayer, real prayer, teaches you to shut out the noise, to close your eyes to the distractions of this world and focus on what truly matters. Your connection to the Creator. It teaches you to make time for what's truly important, to center your life around what's eternal, not what's temporary. And that's a lesson we can all benefit from. Because no matter where you are in your journey, we all need moments of reflection. We all need moments to ground ourselves, to remember why we're here, what we're here for, and what really matters. And prayer, whether you're doing it as part of your faith or simply in your own way, provides that opportunity. The beauty of Islamic prayer, the wisdom in it, is that it keeps you connected to that higher purpose every day. 5 times a day, you're given a chance to pause, to reset, to refocus. And that's not just a religious thing, that's a human thing. It's about creating space in your life for what really matters, for peace, for mindfulness, for connection. And what's more timeless than that? What's more universal than the simple wisdom of humility, of turning to something greater than yourself, of seeing the world through a lens of equality, and understanding that every soul has worth? The wisdom of prayer is a blueprint for how to live a life that transcends the temporary pleasures of this world. It's a blueprint for living with purpose, with intention, with mindfulness. And it's something every human being can learn from, no matter where they come from or what they believe. You don't have to be Muslim to understand the profound impact of prayer. You don't have to be anything but human to feel the pull of something greater, something that connects us all, something that transcends the fleeting distractions of this life. It's a wisdom that, if practiced, could bring us all closer to the truth, closer to love, closer to peace, closer to the real purpose of why we're here. And that's the true beauty of prayer. It's not just for one group of people. It's for all of us. It's for humanity. It's a call to wake up, to slow down, to live with intention, and to walk in humility. And if we all embrace that wisdom, if we all tried to live by that simple, timeless truth, this world would be a much better place.